night. Two teams which have never won the IPL were head-to-head. It was as close as the contest could get. And then there were tears of joy and victory that came across RCB's way. We'll be looking at all of that and the mystery behind that number 18 stands for Virat Kohli, stands for this year as well, and apparently the date as well.
Now, the only story that we thought could follow that is about a path-breaking surgery that's just taken place. The surgery itself and why it could change lives, why it's revolutionary. We'll have the doctor who performed it right here. And he'll also be talking about the link right now, seemingly, between COVID-19 and what we're seeing take place in terms of heart problems and other problems in people's bodies. He'll be talking more about that. So that and more right here on the show. My name is Toya Singh. Let's take a look first at all of the headlines.
Finally, the wait is over for RCB as it wins the IPL Sweet 18 for Kohli and RCB. Kohli also tears up at that final, lifting the trophy. Even before that, the final moments there. And Bengaluru, in response, erupts in absolute joy.
And after that, what we told you about a little earlier, the groundbreaking heart surgery that has just taken place. And we talk a little bit about what recovery looks like and what reinvention looks like post it. Now, what we're going to have on the show is the doctor who performed this surgery. He'll be talking about what happens when precision meets courage in this manner. It's the new lifeline for the hardest to treat heart, and we're going to break down for you exactly what took place.
All right, also coming up on the program, Criminal Justice Season 4 returns, and today we meet Roshni Saluja, aka Asha Negi, on her role. Now, Asha brings a heart craft and hustle from Pavitra to Khatron Ke Khiladi. So there is a whole host of experience that this actor brings to the screen. We'll sit down with her.
And after that, we take you on the road with the Aprilia Tuono 457 to rival the KTM 390. Duke naked bike rivalry heats up, and we tell you which of the two is worth a final selection. First up, it is a royal morning. Pour that coffee, grab your toast, because this is the headline that we all have been waiting 18 years for. After 18 long years of grit, of heartbreak and unwavering fan support, Royal Challengers Bengaluru have finally done it. Yeah, you heard that right. RCB are finally the IPL champions, and it was a thrilling showdown. They took down the Punjab Kings, they etched their names into the history books, and they lifted their first ever, just look at that joy, their first ever IPL title. The roar at the stadium in Ahmedabad might still be echoing across the country, and we don't blame anyone. This is more than just a win. For Virat Kohli and for his boys, it is a legacy fulfilled. From the heartbreak of finals pass to a Sala Cup Namde finally becoming a reality, RCB fans, all of your patience, all of your dedication for this team over the years has finally paid off.
And it may have taken 11 men to achieve the win, but all eyes were on the Indian legend Virat Kohli as he achieved his dream in franchise cricket. And RCB clinched the win on the final ball of the 20th over. Virat sank to the ground, covering his face with his hands. And then we have these moments that you're seeing on screen as well. Anushka sort of mirrored his reaction in the stands, covering her face as well. And the actor then sort of jumped with joy, hugging other members of the RCB's cheer brigade next to her in the private box as well. So we are just decoding for you minutes in case you missed it. Some very candid ones have been picked out by our producers for you to actually relive one final time. And minutes later, we obviously had the two sort of cheering on each other as they always do. Virat ran over to her, hugged her, tears rolling down his face. And as the enormity of the occasion hit him, the emotional Anushka also sort of hugged back and congratulated him. This is a big, big moment, remember. But, you know, this is all the sort of emotions that sort of unfolded on the field between the players, their family, but the larger RCB family, how are they feeling about it? Take a look.
about this. The win is very, I can't be expressed. Isaki Cup Namdu, RCB forever.
I would like to thank the whole RCB match under leadership of Patidar. 18, the dream, the RCB match cracked the 18 years dream. And lastly, before the starting the match, we come to know that the RCB will win 100%.
We waited for 18 years for this one cup and we won every. I would like to tell my celebration that I want to show each and every Bangalorean celebration what we really mean. This is not a cup. This is not a worldwide. We are celebrating worldwide.
All right, wild reactions over there on everybody really feeling the moment. We have with us Ritinder Singh Sodhi, former cricketer with us, also Vimal Kumar back with us on TBC to take us through all of it. Vimal, you and I are totally color coordinated today, and I'm going to say that we are so coordinated in our minds as well on what I'm going to ask you as the first question, which has to do with Virat Kohli. One cannot emphasize how much this means for him. It sort of came out truly in the pictures, in the emotions, both on the field, off the field as well. And can I start with one thing that has really got everybody's mind? This number 18, his shirt number, the 18th year of IPL. Apparently, the numbers for yesterday's date also add up to 18. This was a cosmic setting waiting to happen.
I think, first of all, thank you so much, both Toya and Sonal. And may I remind you that once when India won the trophy T20 World Cup in West Indies, the first show we did after the celebration, I just landed in Delhi with the team celebration. So maybe there is some coincidence. But coming back to Virat Kohli, and I will take everyone, including my old friend Ritinder Singh Sodhi, 18 years back. I was one of those fortunate, privileged guys. Now I can say that I was the first game in Bangalore. Well, Kolkata and Bangalore played the first IPL game 18 years back. And just before the game, I had this chat with Virat Kohli because he came from New Delhi and I was also a Delhi guy, saw his cricket. So I just asked him what this means, this tournament, because we all were clueless. What is this IPL? Saurav Ganguly on the other side leading the teams, Rahul Dravid. And Virat was, I remember, vaguely remember, not exact words to be honest. He just said something like that, you know, it's such a huge opportunity to play along with the Kallis, Dravid, Kumble in the same team. Because coming from Delhi, he never thought he would play even a Ranji Trophy game like all these legends. And now you look at in those 18 years how much IPL as a profile has changed, how much Virat Kohli has changed. And he beautifully said this thing, I gave my everything, my youth, my prime, my experience. And if you believe in a sporting, sporting fairy tale, this was exactly the fairy tale. Virat Kohli, the numbers tells it everything. Like again, you look at it. This was a game where nobody got 50 from RCB. It was Virat Kohli 43, which stood at the highest scorer. He was highest scorer in the inning. But overall, I think if you look at this campaign, there was a certain sense of inevitability the way they played. And besides Virat, you have to give credit to the RCB management, just to keep Virat the face of the RCB and yet keeping him in the shadow, putting someone like Rajat Patidar, a low-profile guy, a great leader, very unsung kind of character, and then putting it all together. And I must emphasize, and maybe probably Ritinder Singh Sodhi will speak a lot about Andy Flower, the coach. Very few will talk about the former Zimbabwe captain, but the way his record, you look at his record as a T20 coach, it's been phenomenal. Overall, there are so many things to talk about. I think probably we could speak for hours.
So Flower is the one who talked so much about why he made Patidar the coach, the captain, why he thought he had that sort of silent but still leadership-like quality that he brought to his captaincy. And we'll talk about that in a second. But Ritinder, if we could first come to you, let's get into the match. Let's talk a little bit about now stepping away from Kohli's legacy, though there's almost no way to do that. Let's talk a little bit about the match. I want to ask you, some experts saying that when you saw Kohli do two things, he gave a shout out to AB de Villiers and he said that everything that RCB is today is because of his work, because he was also obviously yesterday there. That and the fact that some said that, look, RCB had already won this at the auction stage. That's when this incredible team came together. That's when all these first steps happened. So this is actually something that happened a long time ago. How do you see that? Do you think that this team that we've seen, the way we've seen these players balance each other, it could turn the way that auctions happen and the ways in which franchisees look at their entire teams now in the future?
Yeah, definitely. Yes, it starts from auction day only. What team you pick, what combination you pick, and the way Rajat Patidar has marshaled his resources, as Vimal has rightly put in, a low-profile guy captaining a big team. And yesterday, when at the fag end of the match, Virat Kohli had tears in his eyes, India came to standstill. India was crying that moment, those happy tears, because most of the people in India wanted RCB to win. They wanted Virat Kohli to win, and it has been massive. And if we talk about cricket aspect, it was not Virat Kohli. It was the whole team effort. If you look at the scorecard, it was not Virat Kohli who got 150 or 160 on board. It was Livingston, it was Jitesh, it was Salt, Patidar. Everybody contributed. And when we talk about bowling, again, it was team effort. Outside we had Abby de Villiers, Chris Gayle in his pagdi. So I'm sure, I think everything clicked for Virat Kohli and RCB. And a right team, a deserving team won. You can't take credit from Punjab. They fought their level best. They had the chance, but there were few errors, cardinal errors, which cost them heavy. But yes, Virat Kohli, 18th is his jersey number, and he has won this, I think, big time. I think he deserved it wholly.
I think everybody's talking about Virat Kohli in RCB, but there is another rising star in RCB, which is Krunal Pandya. His bowling was the make or break of yesterday's game, clearly. Vimal, do you want to speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, definitely. If you look at in the context of the game, definitely, and he was rightfully the man of the match. And you look at the history of IPL, he is the only player who has won the Player of the Match award in the final twice. This was the second occasion. He has done it for Mumbai in 2017. And he has always been seen as the street smart cricketer, always under the shadow of his younger brother Hardik Pandya. We all talk about Hardik Pandya, the all-rounder. But Krunal is equally an effective match winner. He's the kind of intelligence he has. Comes from Gujarat. He has played a lot of cricket on this Ahmedabad ground. The way he read the pitch, the way he buried his pace. If you look, it was a simply street smartness of Krunal Pandya. The two big wickets he got, very miserly with his bowling spells. I think, as Ritinder Singh Sodhi says, there were so many heroes. Yes, Krunal was an outstanding effort, but look at the catch, Phil Salt, the intelligence, the way he got rid of the opener. So there was Josh Hazlewood. He has been a mighty fast bowler. Someone who has never lost a T20 final. Whether it's for his Australian team, for his BBL franchises, for RCB or for Chennai. So overall, if you look at RCB, actually, if you look at, this was nearly a flawless campaign. The moment they won the qualifier one, there was a sense, and that's why you could say that they were always feeling, and there could be a jinx again. But they were so confident. AB de Villiers was there, already there. You saw where Chris Gayle. Obviously, Chris Gayle has divided loyalty because he also represented Punjab. So it was fitting. You can imagine someone like Chris Gayle representing both sides with his pagdi and then the RCB. But overall, it's a dream come true. I think, and one thing I want to add, it would have been tragic had RCB not win as long as Virat was there. Because you look at the history of IPL, there has been trophy with the likes of Mahendra Singh Dhoni, the likes of Rohit Sharma, all these big guys, the white ball icons, and even Sachin Tendulkar. So this team, this IPL actually in many ways, the story of IPL would have been always why Virat Kohli, one of the greatest white ball player of all time, he didn't have the, IPL. So that would have been really tragic. We would all have been talking what ifs, but that has been put to an end. Now we can expect that Virat Kohli does the same thing what Rohit Sharma has done for MI, winning multiple trophies, what MS Dhoni has done for CSK, multiple trophies. Is this the time that Virat Kohli in the last leg of his career, maybe another 4-5 years, RCB at his peak, maybe a couple of more titles, not just one trophy?
Vimal, you're like the parent who's never satisfied. I'm like, ho to gaya. The thing that he has been waiting for, he said he's had sleepless nights over this. Finally, it's complete and you're like, all right, he's got a few more wins to come. But I believe all of Bangalore is going to be celebrating today afternoon. Ritinder, if we can now talk about the thing we are not talking about, I really want us to talk a little bit about the Punjab Kings, because this was almost, their moment. They are always the bridesmaids, never the bride in a sense. I just want to understand for you, what do you think was happening in the locker room after? What do you think they as a franchise could do differently next year? I personally am excited to see them take the trophy one day. Where are their missteps?
Look, Punjab had their times. They did pretty well because if we talk about last few seasons, this team has always struggled. They had their problems. But this time, I think they were far up the expectations and they reached the finals. They are young guns. Fired. We talk about Prabh Simran, we talk about Priyansh Arya. I think this team never had big star players. They had Indian players, uncapped players, and the way they performed, it was heartening. But yes, yesterday they had their chances. 20 runs extra on that wicket cost them heavy because 190 was always a tough total. This was a slow track, as Kunal has rightly put in. They thought 180 should be enough, but 10 runs more, they had their chance, RCB. And talking about their batting, Priyansh getting out to the last ball of the 6th over to Hazelwood. He could have taken a single, then he could have been facing the left-arm spinners. He could have created havoc there. Inexperience showed when you talk about Priyansh Arya. Prabh Simran again, he was batting well, but he threw it away. And Shreyas Iyer, that was a pivotal factor. That wicket taken by Shepherd, it closed the curtains for Punjab. But yes, Punjab will be a very happy side, playing finals and losing to a deserving winners. I think they will take it.
Amazing.
All right.
Okay. Ritinder and Vimal, we have to say goodbye to you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for bringing us this exciting start to our morning. Always so exciting to watch an IPL final.
All right, let's move on from that and take you through some other remarkable sort of breakthrough that's happening in the world of medicine now. Now, today we bring you a remarkable breakthrough from Apollo Hospitals in Navi Mumbai that has now achieved a global first in cardiac surgery that could change how we treat the most complex heart conditions seen in post-COVID landscape. Now, Dr. V. Kamath, he led the entire surgery. He's the lead consultant in the cardiothoracic surgery, performed the world's first documented 4-vessel coronary successfully, restoring blood flow in 8 blocked arteries in one single patient by one single surgery.
The name of it is so, the surgery itself, it's so complex, and we're going to break down exactly what it was for you. So you have that understanding when we talk to the doctor. But the surgery was performed on a 49-year-old person from Tanzania. He had advanced calcified heart disease. It's a condition that we're actually increasingly seeing in younger people following COVID-19, especially those with other risk factors. So if you have a risk factor like obesity, a family history, cholesterol issues, these are typically where we're seeing this issue. And this is also a perfect case where traditional stents or bypass surgery doesn't work and you needed something extraordinary. And that's exactly what happened. Today the patient is symptom-free, 25 kilos lighter, walking 5 kilometers daily, and of course living proof of what's possible when you have innovation of this kind meeting expertise.
But first, let's break down what a 4-vessel coronary endarterectomy, I hope I'm saying that right, is all about. Now, this is a highly advanced heart surgery where the plaque in the surgically removed from the insides of the 4 major coronary arteries and the vessels that supply blood to the heart muscle. Now, unlike the usual 1 or 2 arteries, this rare procedure now clears out the 4 major arteries in a single surgery. This is needed when blockages are too widespread or calcified, or stents or even a standard bypass surgery just wouldn't do. Now, often the only option for highly risked patients with diffuse coronary artery disease, especially those with post-COVID complications or multiple risk factors, this is a really rare thing that has been done for the very first time in India.
Okay, so where did this happen? It happened at Apollo Hospitals in Navi Mumbai. They achieved this global first, and they've obviously set a new benchmark in the treatment of coronary heart disease that is this complex. Joining us today is the doctor behind this extraordinary achievement. Let's go over to Dr. V. Kalmati, joins us here on the show. Doctor, good morning. Thank you for joining us here on the Breakfast Club. Doctor, before we go ahead, can you just break down for our audiences why the usual? So something like just putting in stents, why wasn't that an option here?
Yeah, see, the coronary artery disease can be managed in 3 different ways. One, if it is less than 50% blockages, you can just simply manage with medications and there won't be any issues. Anything more than 50% or anything where there is a FFR significant lesions, they can be stented if there are 1 or 2 lesions. If there are multiple lesions, especially the triple vessel disease or the major vessel affecting like a left vein disease, or people who have got diabetes or severe LV dysfunction, these are the subset of patients where stents get blocked. When you put too much of a metal in the body, body reacts to it. Though we have very high generation drug-eluting stents, but still when you do too much of it, body tends to react to it and they tend to get blocked soon. So that is when we advise bypass. So coronary artery bypass has stood the test of time over last almost 70-80 years now. So for the long-term patency, for a multi-vessel disease, coronary artery bypass is the gold standard. But in that also, there are sometimes what we do in a bypass is we make fresh connections beyond the blockages so that the heart gets adequate blood supply as per its requirement. But when the entire artery is blocked, where do you do the bypass? So you need to core out the entire plaque and then open up the branches, because when the entire vessel is blocked, the branches are also blocked. So there is no way the blood can go and reach the heart muscle. So you core out the plaque and then do a bypass. So that is what was the situation here in this patient.
Okay.
Dr. Kamath, could you tell us more details on how long this surgery actually lasted? How big was your team? What was the preparation like? Because this is a global first, right? On such a complicated sort of surgery being done. How did you prep for it? And seriously, what exactly is it that you did differently here?
Yeah, see, this is not a new procedure or new technology or anything. This is a procedure which we have been doing it for last over 3 to 4 decades or maybe more. But the thing is, the earlier out and even now, wherever it is done, generally it is done for a 1 vessel or a 2 vessel. Very rarely, few reported cases of a 3 vessel endarterectomies. And we at our center have been doing these procedures for a long time, and we have been doing regularly the 3 vessel endarterectomies. Doing 4 vessel is very, very rare and has been done for the first time to our knowledge. And we didn't plan anything. The disease was such that we had to do it. But yes, we could anticipate this on the angiogram when we saw the angiogram, that almost all the vessels of this young person, he is an economist from Tanzania. So, from top to bottom, all the vessels were diffusely diseased and calcified. So, there's no way you can put a bypass and that will flow. So, the only concern in these kind of situations is, if you are doing an endarterectomy for a 1 territory or 1 vessel, even if it goes bad, for example, the patient will not die. At least the other territory is there to take care of the heart function. His heart function can go weak. But when all the vessels of the heart are affected and when you are doing this endarterectomy, if something goes wrong, he has a very high risk that he is going through. But since we've been doing these procedures with excellent outcomes, we have had a 0 mortality and very little, under 3% morbidity with this procedure over last 1.5 decades. So we knew we would be able to do this safely. There's no separate preparation because Entire setup is there in our OT, and we've been doing it for a long time now.
I like
it's
how
only
you-
the extent of the surgery has gone up.
Yeah, I like how you've called a 49-year-old patient young, but clearly in
Yeah,
terms of heart
certainly.
surgery, it is very young.
No, true. The thing is, cardiac surgery, especially the bypass surgery, has been once upon a time a disease of 6th, 7th, and 8th decade.
But this
Over
is
last 5-6 years, what we have started noticing is there is a significant shift proximally. So nowadays we are getting most of our clientele is in their 40s and 50s nowadays.
so, doctor,
And
tell us.
the youngest I have operated is a 21-year-old boy who actually came for his father's bypass, and I had to do his surgery ahead of his father because he had severe blocks.
I'm sorry, did you say a 21-year-old had a bypass surgery?
Yeah, 21-year-old had a 99% blockages in his left vein, and I had to hold his father, do his surgery first, and then take his father the next one.
Doctor, which really begs the question, I'm sure
Yeah.
that's on Toya's
Yeah,
mind
yeah,
as
yeah,
well,
true.
on why are we seeing this happening?
Is it lifestyle or is it COVID related? Because we did say that in this case in particular, it's possible that it was post-COVID related symptoms that were showing up. Which of the two do you think it is? How are we seeing that correlation? Just break that down for us.
See, COVID per se directly has no impact on the coronary artery disease, but COVID has a predisposition towards hypercoagulable state. But anybody who has got an existing disease and can have a fresh thrombus or a clot because of a hypercoagulable state and can precipitate an attack in a patient. But COVID per se, how it has increased the number of coronary artery disease cases, there's no scientific evidence as such, but yes, there is a significant correlation as far as the numbers are concerned and the age is concerned. It could just simply be a coincidence. There is no evidence to show that causal relation with the COVID status. But what we have seen in our clinical practice, because see, I have operated through the length and breadth of the country.
Right.
So what we have seen is there is a significant, at least a 2-decade shift proximally in the incidence. And younger the patient, severe is the disease. That is a norm even earlier as well. It's an aggressive disease. That is why it is manifesting early. So the disease is generally a diffuse disease as well.
We have very little time left, Dr. Kamath, but I do want to ask you this. What are the main factors leading to it? Because the whole objective is not to land the patient on the OT bed at all. How do we keep them away from hospitals?
Yeah, good question. See, the diffuse disease, coronary artery disease, where you need an endarterectomy, generally is seen in diabetic patients and patients who have got dyslipidemia, the cholesterol abnormalities, the higher cholesterol levels, especially the familial cholesterol, hypercholesterolemias tend to have a very thick, mature and hard plaques, and they are very diffuse from proximal to the distal entire length of the artery. So there is very little you can do about the family history or the hereditary part of it. And even diabetes is not in your hand, but what you can do is to identify them early by a health check and keep your sugars and cholesterols under control. And there are some familial hypercholesterolemias which are very bad, and when the requirement of cholesterol reducing drugs is going beyond 2 drugs, then there are newer drugs that are available, which are monoclonal antibodies and some other drugs which are in an injectable form, can be given 1 or 2 times a year, and they help in bringing down the cholesterol levels and lipoprotein A levels.
Sure.
So that will prevent the progression of these diseases and the consequences.
All right. We'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you so much, Dr. Kamath, and congratulations again on achieving this. Here's hoping that there are solutions, but here's also hoping that we don't need them really.
Right. Okay. That was so illuminating, though, just to know that surgeries like this are taking place. Right now, we're going to head into a quick break. On the other side, we are entirely shifting tracks. So we are taking you to the world of entertainment. As Criminal Justice Season 4 comes out, we have Asha Negi telling us not just about her role in it, but also about her career so far. She breaks it down for us. We'll see you in just a few minutes.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
The Karnataka High Court observed that this entire circumstance has been created because of Kamal Haasan's statement, and for now the actor coming to the High Court seeking protection, and in fact the High Court has asked if it's fair. In fact, the High Court said nobody has the right to hurt sentiments of people, and the High Court even questioned Kamal Haasan and said, I quote here, on what basis are you speaking? Are you a historian or a linguist? Now, Kamal Haasan has also written a letter to the Karnataka Film Chamber of Commerce asking for statement to be not misinterpreted. However, in this entire letter, Kamal Haasan has not apologized. Remember, the matter now comes up for hearing at around 2:30 in the afternoon. That's the time that the court has given for the counsel for Kamal Haasan to get back to the actor and see if the actor wants to apologize, because the court is very clear. The best way out for everyone here is for the actor to apologize and end this matter here. In fact, we have Purnima Murli joining us for more on this. Purnima, 2 hours that the Kamal Haasan council has got. Has there been any sort of a brainstorming that's happening on the way ahead for the actor and his legal team now?
Well, discussions are still going on. Sources from Kamal's team say that they are still holding discussions, and that a decision will be taken. But in terms of whether Kamal Haasan would consider his decision to not apologize, all eyes on that. But only by 2:30 there will be clarity, because currently discussions are on between Kamal Haasan and his legal team to see how best they can work this out. But in the meantime, there have been posters in parts of the state from his own party, the Makkal Needhi Mayam, saying that love needs no apology, truth will never bow, and reiterating what Kamal Haasan had earlier said, that he made that statement out of love and that does not need an apology. He will not apologize if he hasn't done anything wrong. So far, he said that he's faced similar situations wherein he was threatened and warned, but that will not stop him because he says that he will only apologize if he's made a mistake. In this context, he says it was only out of love that he made the statement, and it's been blown out of proportion.
Well, it's been blown out of proportion is what Kamal Haasan claims. We'll have to see if there will be a rethink after the kind of stringent views that the Karnataka High Court has had in the initial part of the entire argument that took place. In fact, there is a piece of breaking news that's coming in right now on the very story. DK Shivakumar has spoken on the issue, and he's urged the Kannada groups to not escalate the matter. He's also said that this is a small matter, and has also asked pro-Kannada activists to not escalate the matter. Speaking to media, DK Shivakumar said that there are hundreds and thousands of people who go from Karnataka to Hosur and travel from Hosur to Karnataka, and things shouldn't take a turn for the worse. And if Kamal Haasan has committed a mistake, he will apologize, and the court will issue orders for necessary orders.
ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ರೂಪಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ತಿರುಗಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಹೊಣೆ? 50,000 ಜನ ಹೊಸೂರು ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ, ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ವಾಸಕ್ಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಕೆಲಸಕ್ಕೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಯಾರ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ? ನಾಳೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಸಣ್ಣ ಸಣ್ಣ ವಿಚಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಆಯ್ತು, ಅವ್ರು ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಕ್ಷಮಾಪಣೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿಗೂ ಇರಬಾರ್ದು. ಈಗ ನ್ಯಾಯಾಲಯಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿದೆ, ನ್ಯಾಯಾಲಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಕ್ಷಮಾಪಣೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಖಂಡಿತ ಅವರು ಗೌರವ ಕೊಟ್ಟು.
Welcome back. You're with the Breakfast Club, and it's time now to take you through stories from India and across the globe. Let's start with the latest of the COVID count. Active COVID-19 cases in India have now crossed the 4,000 mark, with the 5 new deaths reported in the last 24 hours. Kerala currently accounts for the highest number of COVID cases, possibly because they're testing the most as well in the country, and standing at 1,416. Meanwhile, Delhi witnessed a significant increase in cases, with 124 new infections reported, bringing its active case count to 393. Maharashtra also reported 69 new cases, raising the number of active cases in the state to 494.
And the Prime Minister expected to inaugurate the first ever rail link connecting the Kashmir Valley with the rest of the country. It's going to be taking place on June 6th, and 2 days from now. Railway authorities are making the final preparations, as the Prime Minister will be flagging off the Vande Bharat train services. It will take place from Katra in the Jammu division to Baramulla in the Kashmir Valley in the coming days. It was scheduled for April 19th, but it was postponed due to initial unfavourable weather conditions.
The government has announced new reservation and domicile policies for the Union Territory of Ladakh, reserving 85% of the jobs for locals. 1/3 of the total number of seats in Ladakh Autonomous Hill Development Councils will be reserved for women. English, Hindi, Urdu, Bhuti and Purji languages have been made official languages in Ladakh. The move is aimed at safeguarding local interest.
And smoke from Canadian wildfires led to another day of poor air quality in the US Midwest. Conditions in Minneapolis, for example, were rated very unhealthy. The Minnesota Pollution Control Agency has issued an alert across the city, as smoke also spread to Michigan, the Dakotas, Nebraska, even as far as Georgia. According to reports, high altitude smoke has now reached Europe.
A landmark moment for Indian cinema. Bollywood producer Chanda Patel, who recently returned from the prestigious 78th Cannes Film Festival, achieved yet another milestone by becoming the first Indian film producer to meet Elon Musk, father of the tech billionaire Elon Musk. Now, the high-profile meeting took place at the iconic Taj Mahal at the Taj Hotel in Delhi, where the two engaged in an insightful discussion centered around the Indian film industry, Bollywood's global potential and the future opportunities for international collaborations.
Okay, let's move on now to our person of interest. We have on the show today Asha Negi. The highly acclaimed legal crime drama Criminal Justice is actually returning with its gripping 4th season, once again with Pankaj Tripathi as Madhav Mishra, the sharp, unassuming lawyer who navigates the murky waters of justice. Now, this season plunges into a heart of a complex family murder case, where there are multiple different versions of what the truth is, and Asha Negi will be one of the starring roles.
And adding fresh layers to the narrative, there are 3 new cast members in the show. Asha is one of them, so we thought we'll sit down with her to understand how exactly is the making of these iconic series which come out with season after season, still end up enthralling people, really come up. Also, her relationship with co-stars and her own personal journey. So less of us talking, let's bring her on the program this morning. Hi Asha, how are you doing? All right, so you play Roshni Saluja in Criminal Justice, right? A family matter, a role that sort of drives the entire story despite limited screen time for your particular character. What made you say yes to a character like this, and what was your way into sort of this emotional world and this very fan-based world of the series?
That was my first reaction, that oh, she dies. Then I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I should do it or not, because I don't know how much the screen time is going to be. So that was my first reaction. But then I was given the screenplay, the character brief, and when I went ahead with that is when I realized I should not miss this. Also because I felt the character was very challenging. It had layers and it had different emotions to tap into, different places to go, like, you know, mentally and as an actor. So that's what really intrigued me, and of course, it's a great opportunity to be associated with such a huge franchisee. So yeah, I mean, that's how I finalized. That's how I picked it.
Asha, you also got to work with Pankaj Tripathi. He's on our screens right now. He's one of the most maybe loved actors in our country, of our time. What was it like working with him? Did you get to spend a lot of time with him? What were your thoughts about him?
I'll be very honest, I did not get to spend a lot of time with him because we did not have any scenes together, right? So, I met him during the readings and once or twice on set. I remember it was almost the end of the show and we were all like cutting cakes and just celebrating. Also, I have worked with him in Ludo. I think we had one scene together. And but back then in Ludo, I was very nervous, very intimidated by the whole vibe because that was like my first big movie set. So I don't even remember what happened back then. But Criminal Justice, whatever, I know him. I think, what do I say? Like he's super talented, which everybody knows. He's very grounded, a very simple man, extremely simple. And that's something that I really admire about him, the simplicity that he has. And I once remember we were at Prithvi Theatre and I was with my friends and my friend's mom, and she is from Bihar. So she just like ran up to him and I think people start feeling that apnapan. So she ran up to him and she started talking in her own language, I think. And then they spoke about litti chokha. And I think he said that he cooks litti chokha. So yeah, like a vague conversation is what I remember.
Sure.
But very grounded, very simple man.
Asha, let's talk about your personal journey now. You come from Dehradun, we understand. And you've come quite a way. You've done some reality shows, you've done a movie, now you're doing a franchise on OTT as well. At this point, is this what you imagined your life to be?
Every time I think of it, of the time when I wanted to come to Mumbai, but I was very young and nobody would take me seriously at home. I only feel so proud of myself for taking that step, for being that rebel. I feel so proud about it, that I took that step. And to a 10-year younger girl or a 10-year younger me, I would just say that go for it. I'm so proud of you for dreaming, and just go for your dreams and please don't stop. Don't listen to anybody. People would say different things. Please don't listen to anybody. Just go ahead with your intuition and work hard, and you will achieve your dreams one day.
Sweet. We're showing all these wonderful pictures right now of your behind-the-scenes process, your working out, your friends. Tell us a little bit about your career in the last few years. There was Pavitra Rishta, there was also Khatro Ki Khiladi. What's something about that show that people just don't realize?
I think a lot of people assume that jo creepy crawlies hote hain, they are fake. And every time somebody says that to me, I just want to punch them on the face. Because everything is real. And we sometimes get hurt also while doing stunts. And it's really difficult, guys. I remember when I was offered, I was again skeptical that मैं तो कुछ नहीं कर पाऊंगी. Why would I even go बेइज्जती कराने के लिए? But then I did it, and everybody who's done the show says that it was the best experience of their life, because that's what the show is about. You have fears, but then you move ahead. You have to do those stunts, and in those stunts, there are times when you overcome your fears, when you explore the kind of person that you are, you realize that, oh, you're not that weak. That's what I realized, that, okay, maybe, the perception that I have about myself of being this weak person, physically, mentally, I'm not that weak. So that's what I realized, and it was so beautiful. That entire journey was beautiful, and I would still say one of the best experiences of my life.
Talking about not being weak and physically, of course, on that matter, we see a lot of your social media posts being about your workout sessions and how you keep yourself motivated to stay fit all the time. Share some tips with us.
just change your clothes, get into those fitness wear clothes, put on your shoes and go. And then like if you don't feel like doing it, don't do it, but just go. I mean, just like go for it. This is what I feel works for me, because it happens almost every day that I don't want to go. But now I've realized that you just have to change your outfit, wear your shoes and go for it. And once you reach there, you'll start feeling better, is what always happens with me. By the end of it, I tell myself, I'm so glad I came. I'm so glad I stepped out of my house. And, even though I was not feeling like, getting out of the house and doing a workout, I came for it and I feel so good. So it'll always happen with you that you won't feel like. Most of the times happens with me. Abhi to barish bhi shuru ho gayi hai, so because of that, again, I start feeling lazy and I don't want to go. I just want to be at home, eat bhajia, chai, and do nice nashta and lie down on my couch and watch stuff. But that 1 hour, one and a half hour is so important for me. I realize it also really helps me be mentally okay.
Yeah.
It really keeps me sane.
Asha, before we let you go, we now need you to share with our Breakfast Club audiences something that people don't expect about you. So what I mean is, you share so much of your life. You share your fitness journey on Instagram, for example. But what's a side people don't see?
I don't talk a lot about spirituality, but in real, I am quite a spiritual person. I feel with thoda, if I start talking about it, people would take it maybe in a wrong way, think that I'm preaching stuff, or these days people just need a reason to, start trolling people. So that is something that is very personal to me, and in reality, I'm quite a spiritual person. That is the reason that I feel a lot anchored, a lot centered in my life, being in this industry, or whichever industry it is, whichever profession it is. It does become difficult in between. There are days, there are phases. So I feel spirituality, my meditation, my the rituals that I do, I think that keeps me going. But I don't really talk much about it on social media.
Good for you. Good for you. All right, we leave it there for the moment. Asha Negi, thank you so much for joining us here on the Breakfast Club, and good luck with everything that's going to happen next. So that was our person of interest today. It's time to move on now to all things cars and specifically bikes today. The sub 500cc naked bike segment just got a serious shake-up with the arrival of the Aprilia Tuono 457, stepping up the challenge of the class favourite, the KTM 390 Duke. And the 390 Duke comes packed with cutting-edge tech, rider aids, making it a go-to for thrill seekers and performance junkies alike.
But one of them isn't backing down from the other. Obviously, this is a coming together of two fast and furious bikes. Overdrive brings you this report. Take a look.
Now, when it comes to sub 500cc naked sport motorcycles out here in India, there's nothing that comes close to the KTM 390 Duke, because, well, this motorcycle, the prices start at 2,95,000 rupees ex-showroom, and for that, well, as a complete package, for the amount of power you have on tap, the agility, the dynamics, adjustable suspension, the amount of electronics you have on there, it's just a phenomenal package, and with good reason, this motorcycle sits on top of that particular chain. But now, there's a new kid in town in the form of the Aprilia Tuono 457. Promises some really outstanding Italian flair and styling. It's got an additional cylinder, it's up on power and torque than the Duke, and of course it is not going to come cheap. It's a good 1 lakh in addition to the cost that you would pay for the KTM 390 Duke. So how good does this motorcycle measure up out in the real world? Who does what better? We are here to find out. So let's get right to it. the looks department, I quite like the styling of both these motorcycles. Aside from their faces though, the KTM, well, it looks sharp, chiseled and very athletic with all those cuts, creases and even its overall proportions look really nice. While the Aprilia on the other hand, it looks beefy, muscular and even a tad bulky in the midsection on account of that big fuel tank. But if I'm being honest, when it comes to their faces, the 390 Duke has the face of a bike that ran into a brick wall. But it's rather consistent when you consider the aggressive styling of the bigger Dukes in KTM's lineup. Now the Toya 457, it looks like a bug in the juvenile stage of its life cycle, unlike any of the better looking bigger Toyanos with their fixed split headlamp units. But one thing is for certain, you won't mistake either of these two motorcycles for any other on account of those unique DRL setups on both motorcycles, which gives each of them a distinctive look when you see them rapidly approach in your rear view mirrors. Now I know looks are a touchy topic and not all will agree with me on this, but an aspect that will have mostly everyone seeing eye to eye is the critical aspect of performance. And both these motorcycles are very unique in terms of their expression of it. Alright, so when it comes to the engine and the performance aspect of these engines, well, both are very dissimilar. They both have unique characteristics that make them really interesting and very unique. Now, the KTM's LC4C engine, we've gotten accustomed to it over the course of time. Single cylinder, liquid cooled, lovely, lovely motor, around 46 PS of max power, 37 Nm of max torque. Great all throughout, especially once you get up to around 4,500 RPM. This thing really wants to take off and it's great, immense fun in every riding condition. But yeah, now this motorcycle, you will have to, it gets a 6-speed gearbox, slip and assist clutch, bi-directional quick shifter on there as well. But somewhere in the city, well, you will have to shift gears a lot more, have to be on the power constantly, especially lower down the power band to keep things in check. And yeah, once you are in that sweet spot, there's no stopping this machine. And in terms of refinement, well, yes, this motorcycle, the engine is refined by KTM standards, but it's nowhere close to the refinement that you have with the Aprilia's parallel twin. So yes, this is an all-new motor. We've seen it first with the RS457. Same motor on there, same configuration. The parallel twin, it has around 60 cubic centimeters over the KTM. It's up on power and torque as well. Yeah, it is around 47.5 PS of max power, 43.5 Nm of max torque. Super smooth lower down the power band, brilliant mid and top end whack as well. Butter smooth all throughout. It's really enjoyable. And yeah, you do have a slip and assist clutch on this particular bike as well, but sadly you don't have a bi-directional quick shifter with the 6-speed gearbox. So that should have been offered as standard fitment in my opinion. But yes, immense fun, both these motorcycles, especially these engines. Well, if you buy these motorcycles, you're buying these bikes for the performance, and both these motorcycles really hold true in that particular aspect, because you are always assured of having a complete blast whichever one of these motorcycles you choose in terms of performance. Both these motorcycles handle triple-digit speeds with aplomb. And it's just that you'll have to work the KTM a little harder to get there, while it feels a little more effortless with the Aprilia. But then again, that's what you'd really expect, having an additional combustion chamber in there, right? Now, both these motorcycles offer exhilarating performance, but when it comes to stopping power, the KTM manages rapid reduction in speed all the better. If you're into riding hard and fast, the brakes on the 390 Duke feel more progressive and predictable than the set on the Toya 457. The Aprilia comes with those brilliant Eurogrip tyres, which are way better than the pair of Metzeller's on the KTM. But when you go on a relatively long and fast ride on the Toya, if you're aggressive on the brakes, you'll feel this sort of faded feel and response from the brakes, especially on the front lever, over a short course of time. But if you calm things down and take it nice and easy, you won't really feel this. Now, I can't help but feel that the younger you are or the more aggressive your riding style is, the more you'll fancy the KTM. While the older or more mature and relaxed riders, like yours truly, will appreciate the composure of the Aprilia. Because you see, it's got you covered performance-wise, and the engine, well, it just feels that much more tractable.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
The Karnataka High Court observed that this entire circumstance has been created because of Kamal Haasan's statement, and for now the actor coming to the High Court seeking protection, and in fact the High Court has asked if it's fair. In fact, the High Court said nobody has the right to hurt sentiments of people, and the High Court even questioned Kamal Haasan and said, I quote here, on what basis are you speaking? Are you a historian or a linguist? Now, Kamal Haasan has also written a letter to the Karnataka Film Chamber of Commerce asking for statement to be not misinterpreted. However, in this entire letter, Kamal Haasan has not apologized. Remember, the matter now comes up for hearing at around 2:30 in the afternoon. That's the time that the court has given for the counsel for Kamal Haasan to get back to the actor and see if the actor wants to apologize, because the court is very clear. The best way out for everyone here is for the actor to apologize and end this matter here. In fact, we have Purnima Murli joining us for more on this. Purnima, 2 hours that the Kamal Haasan Council has got. Has there been any sort of a brainstorming that's happening on the way ahead for the actor and his legal team now?
Well, discussions are still going on. Sources from Kamal's team say that they are still holding discussions, and that decision will be taken. But in terms of whether Kamal Haasan would consider his decision to not apologize, all eyes on that. But only by 2:30 there will be...
Welcome back. You're with the Breakfast Club, and it's time now to take you through our financial market segment. It's time to take you through our section on financial markets, powered by Money Control Pro, Money Control's premium destination for investing and business insights. Let's start with markets and how they're pegged to open this morning. GIFT Nifty is indicating a stable opening for the Indian stock markets. US markets closed yesterday with gains on buying in shares of chip makers. Asian markets also opened higher on positive US labor market data. Oil prices edged lower as traders weigh supply-demand situation.
We're taking a look at a very fascinating sector today. The world economy appears to be roiled by a shortage of rare earth magnets. These are critical in renewable energy, military applications, electric vehicles, and high-tech industries. Rare earth magnet shortages can actually cripple the electric vehicle industry entirely. Rare earths are seen as China's latest arsenal in the weaponization of trade. And you can log into Money Control Pro to find out more about engineering component sector in general and various other actionable insights, particularly about the rare earth magnets. It's the premier destination for all investing views and financial insights you're ever going to need. Brought to you by Money Control.
All right, with that, we're drawing today's show to a close. But tune in tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., where we're discussing yet another very exciting topic. If you've been somebody who's thinking about studying abroad, but the latest norms and everything that Donald Trump is doing has got you thinking twice, tomorrow's episode is for you.
We also have World Environment Day tomorrow, and we have an incredible filmmaker joining us to talk about what it's like to film close to nature. What happens when you're capturing one animal and a mother bear suddenly comes out of the distance? It's a very interesting conversation. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Brought to you by... This is News 18 Network.